Okay, let's start again. Welcome to Digital Matters. Today we'll be talking about application firewalls for your website. So what is an application firewall? Well, it is a product that you install onto your website or in front of your website to actually protect the actual website from malicious attacks, from cyber criminals that are out there. This day and age, it's very important that something like this is put onto your website, or you have some mechanism that allows you to scan your website for any malware or anything that may potentially turn up. The reason that you do this is that Google and all of the products out there that will index your website or do anything with it often will find out that your site may be compromised, and they will delist your website out of search engines. It obviously has a problem with customers get infections from your website because hackers can install malware on your website, and a customer visiting your website can potentially pick up that malware, so you can lose faith with the customers. There's all sorts of things that can happen. So it's really important after you get a website developed by a company such as ours that you look at a firewall or some description to protect your website from this sort of stuff. So I'd like to talk about the two different types of firewalls. There's host-based firewalls, which means there's a plugin that's actually installed onto your WordPress site or your craft site or whatever type of site you have, Joomla and Drupal. So, example of a WordPress host-based plugin is WordFence, and it's very popular. A lot of people use this. So this installs as a plugin on your WordPress website, and there's a premium version of it. The site's wordfence.com. This enables, once installed, it has a malware scanner that scans all the files on your website for anything that looks sort of dodgy. It also intercepts information as it comes to your website and then provides blocking mechanisms to block sort of anything that it considers a threat. The other type of sort of web application firewall out there is a proxy-based firewall, or something where what actually happens is when someone types in your web address, instead of going directly to your website, they go through a web application firewall proxy. So examples of that are Cloudflare, is a very popular one, and the whole idea of Cloudflare is you have your website set up and it proxies through the Cloudflare system, and they intercept anything they consider sort of harmful to the website. There's another product that we heavily used at IT Basecamp. It's called Securi. Now, Securi obviously has the application firewall. It also does active scanning and monitoring, and is quite popular because of the fact that it has those active scanners that will scan your website routinely from a remote source and make sure there's nothing on there that's seen as malware or threats to the actual security of the website. There's many other ones out there, and you only have to do a bit of a Google on web application firewalls. StackPath's a quite popular one as well. Akamai has been around for many years, and they have their own version. Obviously, all of these companies are also what they call content delivery networks. So they have quite large scale setups around the world with different sort of entry points to actually allow your site to be also accelerated, but also protected from any sort of threats or malware that's out there. Another one we've got is CDN 77. So I'm just showing a few of these different ones so that you sort of get an idea. There is quite a market out there for this. And we recommend that, if you've got a product that is sort of obviously in the public and you're making money from your website, or something like a web application firewall is critically important to making sure that you keep on top of anything that's going to occur that could potentially bring your website down or lose trust with your customers. So I guess, come along to IT Basecamp and we can show you about these products. They are very good. They need a fair bit of configuration. Sometimes they're not so easy if you wanted to do it yourself. So we do recommend that you contact an IT company or your web provider to actually find out how to set them up. And that will be our digital matters for today. Any questions, Matt?
No, I don't think so. I think, again, for the lay person, which I am, clearly using a company like IT Basecamp to not only suggest the right product, but to implement it and maintain it is a bit of a no-brainer, because this is for sure beyond what I think is, manageable for the average lay person who simply wants to run their business.
Sure. And
yeah, but
look,
no question.
I think, if you consider, your investment that you put into your website initially, most websites these days, you're spending thousands of dollars up front to get the thing developed and represent your business. So, keeping it maintained and up to date and having a firewall sort of like a web application firewall in front of it is vitally important to protect that investment and to protect the face of your business, because it's one of your main advertising sources now. So it's really important that it's looked after.
Exactly right. It's a bit of a no-brainer, I'd say.
All right. Well, that's it. Very short one today. Thank you very much for joining us on Digital Matters, and please like our YouTube channel, and you'll find a lot more other videos on there around the digital space, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.